Good afternoon. Due to the governor's order, all members of the Fair Planning Committee are participating virtually. For virtual meetings, committee members will be muted until asked to be heard. At that time, they will be recognized and will be unmuted. When there is a vote, it will be necessary to take a roll call vote. The committee member will be recognized and will raise their hand and state their vote. Today's meeting is a public meeting. Citizens can listen to the meeting if they contacted the city manager's office to make the necessary arrangements. The meeting will also be live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, and a recording of today's meeting will be available by Friday, September 17th on the city's website. And I guess we'll start with roll call attendance.
Rachel Barron.
Yes.
Odell Cheek. Carrie Collins.
Here.
Willie Cumbo. Sophia Greggs. Kathleen Garber.
Here.
Kimberly Gressley. Joseph Hamby.
Here.
Karen McHugh.
Here.
And Anthony Tang. All right, thank you.
All right, so we will skip the approval of the minutes for now. Don't know if on the approval of the 2021 contracts and emergency services, if y'all just want to talk us through that since we can't yet vote, but go ahead and give us the details.
Kat, did you say the entertainment contracts and the emergency services?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
I was totally expecting to go down further than that, but that's okay. Cheryl sends her regards. She's not able to be with us today, so I will be going over the resolutions for you guys. If you noticed in the attachments, there was a resolution for our mariachi band. They were with us in 2019, and they will be an act that we typically have roaming. So I'm not sure if we have found them an actual location. Robert, do you know if that had been confirmed? I'm sorry.
No, they don't have a specific location.
Okay. And so that's the only entertainment that we need to get approved on this resolution. They are for $9,000.
And I think in that instance, this would have to go to commission.
It will. That's
as
what I was going
well.
to say next.
Okay.
So it will have to go to commission. So we would just ask for your approval to forward it on to them.
Okay.
That would be the same for the other action request form that she has for Forsyth County EMS.
Carrie, we did have Kim join in, so now we do have quorum, so we can vote on things.
All right. Do
Perfect.
you want me?
Yeah,
Do you want to go back to minutes, Kat?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll just start at 1 and work our way down now. So the first item is the approval of the minutes for the June 14th, 2021 committee meeting. They were attached in the information that Rachel sent out. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move.
Thank you,
Second.
Karen.
Second from Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie. And we'll do a roll call vote.
Joseph,
Yes.
Kat,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
and Kim.
Yes.
Thank you.
Perfect. And now the approval of the minutes from the August 9th, 2021 committee meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Joseph and Karen, thank you. And we'll do another roll call vote.
Joseph,
Yes.
Kat,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
and Kim.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. And then moving right along, the 2021 entertainment contracts that Carrie just talked us through for the mariachi band that we are making the recommendation to commission due to the amount, but do I have a motion to approve that recommendation?
Move.
Thank you,
Second.
Karen. Thank you, Joseph.
All right. Joseph,
Yes.
Kat,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Rachel,
yes,
and Kim.
Sure.
Wonderful. And then the approval of the amendment of emergency services. Carrie, did you need to tell us anything more about that?
Not really. You can see
Okay.
there in the summary information that previously, back in 2019, we paid $15,000. So we had rolled over that budget amount, but they have had to have an increase due to vacancy and paramedic retention. So we are asking for you to approve the new budgeted amount of $44,710, which will also be a recommendation to our commission.
Excellent. Do I have a motion for that recommendation?
Move.
Thank you, Karen. Do I have a
Second.
second?
second,
Thank you, Rachel.
All right, Joseph,
Yes.
Kat,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Rachel,
yes,
and Kim.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent. And now the COVID-19 restriction update.
All right, thank you, Chair Garber. I will take that one, I think. Rachel, you can share your screen, or do I share? I'll share mine here.
You can share yours.
All right, there we go. Can we all see that?
No.
Nope. Okay, hold on. Double click. There we go. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it still that screen?
No.
No, we're at SVOG.
Okay, there we go. All right, so this is kind of a brief overview of kind of our proposed plan with COVID-19, where it currently lies. We've had some conversations with the Forsyth County Health Department. This has been presented to them as well. I think they're going to come back and once they fully review it and give maybe some additional guidance. So we are working with them on kind of where we're headed to make this as safe as possible when we do open October 1st. I'm not going to read it line by line. It was sent in the packet today. I'll kind of overview really the main parts of what we're going to be doing to provide the safety of not just our employees, but of the guests and the vendors who are going to be here. So obviously the most important thing would be the mask guidelines. And for the purposes of Winston-Salem, Forsyth County, we would strongly encourage masking at all times, anywhere outside of indoor buildings. So anywhere on the fairgrounds, we will have multiple signage, messaging, clock tower, wherever we can possibly encourage folks to wear masks, we will do that all throughout the grounds, even while outside. So we will not require them to wear masks. We will strongly recommend it and push that message out often. We'll push it out with our advanced ticket messages. We'll push it out obviously through the media will help us. And then we'll push it out when folks arrive on site with signage, and then also with clock tower announcements. So we really want to make it a regular item that's occurring in people's thoughts and kind of make them feel comfortable wearing a mask, even though they're outside, and it may be against some folks' intuition. So we just kind of want to break that thought process of, hey, we're outside, we're good. So we want to push that message to help encourage mask wearing. We will require masks for anybody inside buildings. So that goes along with the current mayor's order. So the annex education building and further on down here, there's some other buildings where we would require masks indoors. And then just the definition here is obviously we want them to fully cover the mouth and the nose and loop around the ears. And one note is that we do have about 50,000 masks on site now. It's possible we get more before the fair begins, but we've worked with emergency management folks at Forsyth County and a couple of our vendors that we use regularly. And we have 50,000 masks on site now for folks who do come and for whatever reason do not have a mask at this time during COVID-19. With that being said, we do have additional hand sanitizers that will be placed all throughout the fairgrounds, at the entrances, around the food areas. We've got a good amount of those. We've already added those inside our buildings for folks in the education building and the annex. And then obviously we have soap and water in the restrooms for folks to wash hands when they need to. And just one of the messages that we'll push out to not just our staff and vendors, but everyone involved is we encourage washing your hands before touching any personal belongings. Once you're at the fair, don't touch your face, don't touch your mask, remove your mask with ear loops. So this is kind of one of those, just reminders of how to properly do the things we need to do to stay safe, even though you're wearing a mask. So again, this applies to all employees, vendors, contractors, or anyone in the fairgrounds. So this messaging will all be relayed to those folks. This is just an overview of all the public facilities, the public areas that we would monitor and relay signage to folks. I'm going to jump down to employee safety. So employee safety, in this instance, employees include vendors. They include the Straits Carnival. They include anyone who essentially would fall as someone putting on the fair. We will share these 4 questions with those folks and make sure that they are self-checking before coming to the fairgrounds each day. And for those who reside on the fairgrounds, we would ask that they do this before leaving their bunkhouses or campers or wherever they're at. So kind of the standard questions that we've asked kind of ourselves over the whole pandemic, at least on site here at the fairgrounds while we've been going through COVID and events and doing the vaccination clinics and the COVID testing, is really the 4 basic questions of if you've been exposed, if you have symptoms, any of the 4 questions here will be asked. And if you answer yes to any of those, we ask that you not come onto the fairgrounds. So going on to ticketing and entry. As you know, we already try to push folks away from peak times. It is obviously more critical in 2021 for the fair in an effort to reduce kind of larger gatherings. So you all have already approved and seen the opening night Friday special, which hopefully can pull some folks off of Saturdays and Sundays. I think we talked about Fridays are typically not our busiest nights, surprisingly. So hopefully that pulls some folks to Friday. We've increased our ride wristbands on the weekends, also on Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, our increased prices, and mainly because those are our 3 most popular days. And then we'll still do the early bird tickets Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m., 4 p.m. So just pushing folks to non-peak times to keep crowds dispersed from those Saturday, Sunday times. So with that being said, we'll encourage tickets to be purchased on the website or the mobile app. So you can purchase tickets by visiting carolinaclassicfair.com, our website, wsfairgrounds.com, or ticketmaster.com, or through any of the mobile apps. So there's that capability to purchase. Even once you arrive at the gate, you can pull up the app or pull up ticketmaster.com and you can buy your ticket when you're at the gate on your mobile phone. You don't have to exchange cash, credit cards. You don't have to have any touch factor with any staff. So we will promote the use of those advanced tickets, and we will use a scanner to scan those tickets. There will be no contact with the guests who have tickets coming into the gate, whether it's a hard ticket or virtual. And then we'll work with our security folks, the metal detectors, the bag searches will all be touch-free. So we'll ask folks to open the bags and come on in rather than the show pros or the crowd managers touching the bags and looking through them themselves. So just to limit touch points there. And then again, we'll post these 4 questions outside of the gates for folks before they enter to make sure that, hey, we're doing our due diligence, and we're asking you all to as well before you come in the gates. If you answer yes to any of these, please turn around now. And we'll also message this out, as I said before, in emails and as much as we can with the media. So indoor buildings, just again, indoor buildings, we will require masks indoors. The fairgrounds marketplace, education building, home and garden building. And where we can, we will have one-way directional markers to guide folks through without kind of going the back and forth, which is stuff we've seen earlier in the pandemic, but I still think it's something that helps. It can help mitigate any kind of spread and get folks from congregating and going the wrong way. Any of the open air facilities, such as the cattle barn or the ag building, will have those roll-up doors open, the fans going, the farmer's market or the poultry barn will have all their doors and fans going. The Midway and the Carnival, so we've worked with Straits and we've talked with Straits, and they're open to doing whatever is necessary from their standpoint, and they will follow our guidelines. They'll maintain social distance between employees as much as possible. They have committed to sanitizing their rides and touch points daily. They will separate the guest on the rides, so they're not putting, Tom and Mary from a separate party together in the same gondola, so to speak. If you're a single family, you go in that one, and then they'll break it off from there. And then we'll have hand sanitizers at all game stations. Just another note here that all entertainment will be outdoors. Outdoor entertainers are encouraged to wear masks when performing if necessary. And then food and beverage folks, the vendors with the food and beverage are working already with Carrie, and I believe Aubrey with the Forsyth County Health Department. They've relayed best practices, and we will operate under those best practices before opening and during the fair. So for fairgrounds cleaning and upkeep, so this is kind of a normal piece of what we do at the fair. We already have clean teams that roam around the fair and clean up and pick up trash and dump trash and do all those things. So we'll just be asking them maybe to do a little bit extra and wiping down ATMs and tables and bleachers, which is typically not a practice. So that's some of the things that'll be a little different with that. We'll have some sanitizing wipes and sprays to make sure that is happening regularly. And then this additional guest confidence communication is kind of what I talked about before, is really communicating with the guests when they're here, before they're here, when they buy their tickets. Here's what you need to know. Keep us safe, keep the guests safe, and kind of just make it a normal occurrence when you're coming to the fair. You're gonna want to wear a mask to keep everyone safe. So that's it in a nutshell. So this health and safety policy really goes back to what we went over above. It's those 4 questions, which got renumbered here in this great document as it kept going to 5, 6, 7, 8. But this is the document that would go out to all vendors and participants of the fair once we finalize and get this approved, just to keep it as safe as possible. So that is pretty much everything in a nutshell. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Hey, Robert, I just had one question for you.
Yeah.
Something we've been debating because we're doing a pawpaw thing this weekend. Who will monitor that mask usage? There are people who My husband just flew back from Arizona and said that there were people who were absolutely not going to wear their masks. And when they did stick them on to pretend they were wearing them way down here. So how is that going to work?
Yes, so we met with Winston-Salem Police Department along with Forsyth County Emergency Management a couple weeks ago, and we kind of talked through that. And it's a hard thing to really police and enforce. The good thing about how our plan is laid out is outdoors. It's strongly encouraged and recommended. So it'd be really the indoor piece. So with the indoor piece, it's more of the staff that's in there is going to have to ask folks to put their mask on and keep it on. And if they continue, if they do not adhere, the police can ask them. And if they continue to not adhere, they can be cited for trespassing. So, I mean, it's obviously a long, drawn out process. And by the time it's completed, they may be outside already. So there's not any direct enforcement. It's going to be marked on the doors, and then the staff that's in those buildings will have to monitor it.
Because, you know, my hat's off to all of them who will have to approach people during the week and do that. So I know it's a difficult task, and I think it's my job this weekend. So I'm not looking forward to that on Saturday, you know, because people can get kind of nasty and mean about it. I just wanted to make one comment when you're talking about touchless, looking at bag searches. So my family and I, we go to Disney a lot. So they're doing basically a touchless kind of a opening where you open up your purse, but they have a
Stick.
It's a little wand.
Yeah.
And they'll point to things and ask you to pull stuff out. And if they have a sign up that says that, you know, you must pull out anything that is identified. And so I would just recommend that all your folks do have a little wand or a little stick or something to really tell people what they want to have pulled out of those bags.
That's right. Yeah, I'll confirm that with our security folks. And I believe I've seen them operate in that same manner with it's almost like a paint stick to a point.
Yeah, it works really well at Disney. It's just that it causes lines.
Yes.
But if you're going to go to an entertainment situation, then, you know, it works.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I think it's a really great plan. I know I feel good about it. I know last summer, even when we weren't sure what the fair was going to happen, or if, you know, I appreciated then all of the work that y'all put into developing a safety plan if we had been able to go forward. And I appreciate seeing that a lot of those same pieces have rolled over to this year as we continue to be in COVID-19, maybe next year, 2022. It's going to be better. But yeah, I think knowing some of the other events that are happening in the community that don't even have this level of mask requirements or encouragement, I think we're doing everything that we can to create a safe space. So thank y'all for being diligent in that.
And Kathleen, if I could, just to share with the committee that we're also going to present, you know, this draft plan to the Public Assembly Facility Commission next Monday, as well as the City Council's Community Development Housing General Government Committee on Tuesday at their regular 4:30 meeting. So we're, you know, wanting to get that input even after today's meeting. If you all have ideas, please continue to you know, share that with us, because, you know, we're certainly starting to get questions about, you know, how we're moving forward. So I appreciate it.
Great. We'll move on to the vendor update.
So I know everybody's always excited about what's the new food coming to the fair. I will share with you that I am in conversation with a new barbecue vendor who will be providing a barbecue Sunday.
Oh, God.
Just saying, it's out there, guys.
Like with ice cream?
No. I guess
Okay.
it's just to look like a Sunday. So it's
Okay.
like baked beans and barbecue and coleslaw with a pickle stuck down in the side of it. To each their
Wow.
own.
I feel better that there's not actual ice cream involved.
Yeah, no ice cream involved. Chester's Gators, if you've seen his stand, it's up here close to the grandstand. He is bringing in a second location, beer, cheese, and bacon. So you will be able to have beer, cheese, and bacon on lots of things, onion rings, nachos, fried jalapenos, you name it. And then we have a few new food items inside our marketplace this year. We unfortunately lost our maple cotton candy. They had been thinking about not returning even back in 2019 because they have moved to Georgia. I think they used to live in Vermont, which would make sense with maple cotton candy, but they have moved out of Georgia and they're just, I guess, getting a little bit older. So they're not going to be with us this year. I guess they're retiring. But I have a lady coming in, Ruby G's Buttercream Sensations, who has pound cakes and layer cakes and those famous hot cocoa bombs. I don't know if anybody knew about those back in December of last year, but she'll have some of those. And we have Sweets by Design, which if I understand completely, it's kind of like their dried sweets. So I don't know, lots of interesting things coming. So we'll see what it all looks like. Otherwise, we're doing very well with our vendors. We might see a few less inside the marketplace, but outside is relatively, most of the vendors are returning. So that's really
Perfect.
important.
Does that also for the community food booths? Are those kind of equally filled?
The community food booths have been dwindling over the years, and I had enough booths available for the booths that are down there, 11 through 14, which is Rising Star. They're down there close to the pig races. I also had the Moravian Church who had the chicken pies. I had some vacancy in some of the other food booth areas where I was able to put them up there. So I will be having more of a novelty type items down there in 11 through 14 with like dream catchers and tie-dyed shirts and things of those natures, those type of vendors, so that we can have as many of our community vendors together. Currently only have one vacancy in 1 through 10. I think it's just, especially right now, it's hard to find those volunteers. Even prior to COVID, it was a struggle. Winston-Salem Police Department will not be returning this year in their food booth. The lady who had run that has retired and they did not find a replacement for her. That was a big one. And Walkertown Civic Club will not be returning this year. They did not have enough help. So we have the Moravian Church moved into police and a different church moved up to where Walkertown Civic Club was. So 1 through 10 is full. I think I have an opening in 4, but other than that, they're all set up and they're actually already moving in. So
Awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome.
And I think we'll go to DJ now for the marketing update.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
Awesome. All right. Let me share my screen here right quick. All right. So here's the marketing update for everything that's new since the last time I talked to you guys about marketing last month. So I didn't want to go logo overload here, but these are just a few of the advertisers that we have current and active campaigns with. Some of them are conglomerates. So for example, Odyssey, if you didn't know, that's the station that has Simon, 93.1 The Wolf, 102 Jams, 97.1. Of course, WXII, they have Me TV, the CW, things of that nature. ABC 45 has My TV as well. So these logos are all, media outlets, radio, TV, and print that we have current campaigns going with. Same with iHeart. And then we have more coming up in the coming weeks, you know, with the big push coming up with about 3 weeks before the fair. So this brings us to Billboards. This is our bigger, faster, foodier billboard that you'll see in Greensboro, next to the Central Carolina Fair in Greensboro, which I'm gonna do the shuffle here and go over to our billboard locations. This is where that billboard will be right here. And then as I scroll through passively, I'll just talk a little bit about billboards. You'll see some familiar and some not so familiar locations in counties such as like Surrey and Rockingham. And then of course we have posters and digitals here in the Winston-Salem area. We have 22 billboards total, 18 of those being posters or kind of static, regular traditional billboards. And then 4 of them being digitals. All of the digitals are located here in Winston-Salem, Business 52, northbound, you know, going towards like Winston-Salem State, both of the 40 exits. Another one right here on University Parkway, right here on our neighborhood. You know, I really love the digital billboards just because we have control over them and we can change them at any time. We have another one on Business 40 as well, you know, where you can change them and customize them. Just say, hey, you know, take this exit for fun at the Carolina Classic Fair. And, you know, we can have a live Facebook feed where I can upload photos and they go directly to those billboards in real time to kind of send a message to people of, hey, you know, this is what you're missing. The fair is happening right now. Take this exit so you can join the fun. So these are just a few of our billboard locations here. So next we go into a few new fun things that we have going on. We're the title sponsor of ABC 45, My 48 Friday Night Rivals. Every Friday, they air a high school football game on My 48. I know Cheryl got to tune in live. I wish she was here to talk about the experience of watching it, but really a professional broadcast, like ESPN level broadcast. We got to go onto the trailer where they do all the camera work and everything. Robert and I did, and it was really spot on. They had like 12 people packed into this little trailer, had like 70 different cameras going. It was crazy. Or 70 different screens in the trailer going, and they were just controlling everything. It was awesome. So we're live on site, of course, at the games. We're giving out little footballs with our logo on them that say Friday Night Rivals. We have the towels as well. We're giving out magnets and stickers. We have a custom Carolina Classic Fair branded tent that we put up on site right next to ABC 45s. Our logo and our name is on the trophy, of course. That trophy is presented at the end of the game by myself or whoever else is on site representing us. Usually it's going to be me at the end of the games presenting that trophy to the winning team. And then, of course, during the broadcast itself, you know, they really brand us very well. Cheryl gave us some great feedback as far as, you know, our logo's everywhere. Like it's right on the scoreboard as you're watching the game. You know, of course, we have spots running during the game, and they really just do a great job of branding us overall during the game. We also had the pretzel stacking contest during the halftime. That was when we had 2 students stack pretzels on their head, and whoever dropped the pretzels lost, and then the other person won like a stuffed animal. Kind of fits in with the you know, the stuffed animals that people win on the midway. And I was able to do an on-camera interview during that contest. And we also gave away tickets to a row, the lucky row. We may do that at every game, but we'll just bring tickets, choose a row, and then they'll make an announcement, say, hey, please draw your attention to the lucky row. Who won fair tickets presented by the Carolina Classic Fair. The camera's on them. Everyone's going crazy. Everyone around them is saying, oh man, I wish I sat on that row and won some free tickets to the fair. So it's pretty cool. Overall, very engaging. I love the team over there. They do a great job at ABC 45. And I think it's a really good opportunity for us to capture like that Friday night audience. Try to get more people to the fair on Friday nights, which of course that ties in with the welcome back a deal that we're doing for the $5 deal. But also like really grabbing the attention of high school students and high school parents and saying, hey, the fair is coming up, let's go. And then here is the commercial for the A&B Beer Garden. Let me turn on my sound right quick. I don't know if y'all will be able to hear it, but Here we go. So of course we'll tie that in. Hold on, sorry guys. Of course we'll tie that in with our traditional spots like running on WXI and whatnot. We'll rotate the A and B beer garden commercial in there. Last thing is the our offsite ticket selling location. This is new to us this year with the Winston-Salem Dash. So we're selling fair tickets and ride vouchers, ride wristbands, the whole deal at the Truist Stadium team store. This is on game days and on non-game days. So I think the Dash are in their last home stretch here in September. So of course, we'll have a staff member present at every game selling tickets to the fair, but also from 11 a.m. to 5:30 through September 25th. And then September 27th through September 30th, 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. You just enter off Broad Street, roll down the hill to the main gate of the Dash Stadium. And then you just walk in through the main gate and you can purchase tickets right there. We have like an A-frame that says purchase your fair tickets and merchandise here. So as people are walking up, they know where it is. Also, people that are at the games kind of catches their attention and lets them know that they can do that. We're working on signage to put out there on Broad Street, leading people down to the team store for those people that don't know exactly where to go. When I'm posting this on social media, I'm also including those directions just to kind of help people out. And then, as I mentioned, we also have merchandise there as well. So we have Carolina Classic Fair merchandise on sale there as well. And I think that is all from me. If anyone has any questions. All right.
Yeah, looks great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. We'll move on to Rachel and the competitive entries update.
So our entries have closed, and so right now we're at about 15,000 entries, which is definitely down from previous years, but that was to be expected. But all of our entry tags are going out in the mail this week. They're going out beginning next week. Probably the last couple will go out. We are changing kind of the process of how we take items in when we do the take-in weekend, because before it was kind of just a free-for-all with a million people in the education building, and there was just people everywhere. It looked like an anthill in there. There's just people everywhere. So we kind of centralized it, and we're having check-in tables outside of the education building, kind of in that awning area. So people will bring their items up there. We'll have one person check them in, and then we're going to use the Crosby Scholars to kind of run the items back to where they need to go in the education building to kind of limit the amount of people that are in the building and to keep more people outside as much as possible. But I think it'll not only help streamline the process, but help to social distance and keep the number of people in the building down. But I think it'll be good, and we'll end up with a nice display in there.
Karen.
Yes.
So there will be a flower show. I have a friend who needs to know.
There will not be a flower show.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so this year, the Garden Club Council wasn't going to do it, but then we had some flower show friends that were going to put on the show, but then they just decided with COVID, it's harder to get people to volunteer and work. And so we're going to work on other things in the building, like the Master Gardeners. We're going to move into there, and so they'll have a display. We're working with the Dahlia Society and the Rose Society to kind of put some flowers in there. Professional florists, we'll start working with them to still have their flower show in there. So we're still going to have some sort of flower and garden displays in the Home and Garden building, but not the full-on show.
Okay. And what about the artwork from schools? Are we going to have the food? What's happening with all of those things?
Yes, we're still having the school artwork from the public schools, and the private schools are still bringing all of theirs. They're very excited to come back and to showcase those kids' work. We still have our culinary entries, special food contest, all of the regular ones in the education building and in the agriculture building. They're all still going on.
Every year at the flower show, I discover stuff that's growing in my backyard that's apparently actual plants. So if you need me to cut some of those and bring them in, I'm always like, I thought that was a weed. And look, here it is on display.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any other business to be discussed?
Are we having a walkthrough?
Yes, so as of now, the walkthrough is scheduled for September 29th. As of now, I mean, Ben might be able to speak more to it, but as of now, we still are planning the walkthrough right before the fair.
Right, it's on the calendar and, we might figure out how we can do it socially distanced. And I think we've always done boxed lunches for that. So, yeah.
And I would imagine mask would be strongly encouraged
Well,
in line with our current fair guidelines.
Absolutely, absolutely. Set the example.
Yes. All right. Well, if there's no other business, our next meeting, as Rachel said, will be Wednesday, September 29th at noon at the Special Foods Pavilion, 2 days before the fair starts. And so we'll get a nice sneak preview of all the fun that's coming. All right. If there's no other business, then meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you all.